I'm going to throw out a few little lines at you. You give me the first name that comes to your mind, and if there's a little story that goes with it, please throw that in as well. And I'm going to give you the first one: Last man standing at the bar.
Last man staying at the bar. That would be sometimes me, man. But yeah, there was a definitely. I loved how European bars, especially all over the UK, they would stay open for us, man. We'd come in at 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning, and there's a waitress or a bartender, a couple of bartenders, and I'm like, holy shit, you guys stayed open for us? Oh yeah, yeah. We knew you were coming in this late. So I would definitely I'd collect money from everybody, whether it was like 10 pounds from each person, and tip them guys like 100, 200 pounds or something like that for staying up for late, and we'd be up till 6 in the morning. I mean, John Cena had a good reputation of that too. Now he was at the hotel bar. To be honest with you, like we liked the hotel bars, especially in the 80s and 90s. But I used to like to go out and I used to explore. Like I mean, I remember we used to go to Stringfellas way back in the late 80s. Like it was a wild bar, that place. And we used to go down to Piccadilly Square and just go out all over the place and into London. It was just amazing. It's a great city. Fantastic
Just
city. And I mean,
crawling up and
yeah, I
down.
mean, London was always open later than like Birmingham's only open till 2 in the morning, unless you go to a private club or, and stuff like that. So in certain places, but, Sheffield and all these other places, Nottingham, I love that place.
Mm.
Latino Chinos, what was it? Chino Latinos. It was a sushi Asian place inside this hotel. It was a fantastic place in Nottingham. We used to stay up until like
God,
6, 7 in the morning.
did you ever in the early like 90s, late 80s go to the Hacienda in Manchester?
Hacienda, probably. We probably did. We probably did. I remember going to so many places.
Yeah.
Manchester was always a good place to go out, Birmingham and all that.
Hmm.
So
Okay,
that's
I'm going to give you the next one. Most beautiful diva woman wrestler in real life.
in real life, woman wrestler. I would probably have to say, let's see, there is I mean, a good wrestler or just
Not just anyone.
talk about the Kelly Kellys, the Tori Wilsons. I mean, he had a lot of Sable. She was a beautiful diva way back then. And, but she wasn't really a wrestler, that's for sure. You know, uh, Trish Stratus, she was one. I always liked Sensational Sherry back in the day when she was just, she was a great wrestler and
Hmm.
she had a lot of spunk and charisma, and she didn't take no shit from any of the boys, man. She was a kick ass woman.
Yeah. I'm going to give you biggest
Level.
bully.
What's that?
I'm going to give you biggest bully.
Biggest bully. Let's see. I would probably say Sid Vicious back in his day.
Oh, really?
Probably one of the biggest bullies or something like that. Yeah, I'd say Sid Vicious maybe. Um, I don't know. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, not too many of them. I mean, like when you had the clicks were the bullies. When you had like certain clicks, the BSK click was cool.
Hmm.
You know, then you had the Shawn Michaels, Razor Ramon, Diesel, and the DX click. That was I seen them bully some of the boys around back in the day in Europe tours. That's for sure, man.
I'm going to give you this one, and everybody has pleaded the fifth on this one. Biggest stooge for the dirt sheets.
Stooge for the dirt sheets. I don't know, man. I always heard Harold Finkel was the Stooge back in the day.
Oh.
But I don't know. You couldn't really pinpoint who that Stooge was sometimes. So I mean, is there anybody on your mind who you heard?
No, everybody's always got an answer and then declines to say it.
Yeah, yeah. But there's a lot of guys right into the dirt sheets, I think, but you never can pinpoint something on. But yeah, I miss Howard Finkel. He was a great, great, great announcer, man. His voice was one of like the only and that's what Tony Chimmel learned a lot of. He actually took Howard Finkel's place at some point, and Howard Finkel taught Tony Chimmel a lot of stuff in ring announcing.
I'm going to give you most memorable backstage fight.
Backstage fight, probably have to stay. Wasn't too much of a fight with. I mean, when Brett hit Vince, Brett, knocked out like punched Vince right in the face the one time. I remember nails hitting Vince. He was an old time wrestler. He was the guy with
I like how you remember all the ones where Vince is like the victim.
yeah, I mean, um, I just I remember like not really so many backstage fights, but there was a lot of fights at the bars between the boys. I remember when Marty Jannetty and Shawn Michaels used to go at it all the time. They'd come in black and blue, highs black and blue, bloody everywhere. The next day, cuts. And I'd be like, man, who did you guys fight last night? And they're like, each other. I'm like, what? You guys are boys. But, yeah, I mean, there's backstage fights. I'm sure there was a couple. I can't remember them right now, but have you heard of any?
Many people have said, a few people said Big Show, Giant Carly. There was a very
Oh
weird
yeah,
one.
I remember that in the locker room. That was kind of quick though. That was kind of yeah. I remember that fight. But that wasn't really. It didn't pan out to be nobody got hurt. There's a couple big guys tumbling around, and Steven Regal jumped in there and he put a big grasp on Khali and stuff. So kind of in a whole. There was another probably instance which was a quick one, which was Rougeau brother, Jacques Rougeau knocking Dynamite Kid out in Montreal. I remember that, and that was a receipt. That was paybacks coming, from Jacques, from him getting hit and getting knocked out from Dynamite one day. So I mean, but that wasn't really a fight. It was kind of just he had a roll of quarters in his hand and he snuck them and boom, knocked his 4 teeth out, man. Mm-hmm. So that was pretty much it.
Well, this next one you'll know better than probably anyone else. Who calls their spots the loudest?
John Cena. He used to sometimes call spots out. God bless his heart. I love him, man. He's a great worker, great guy and stuff. But sometimes, man, I used to cringe, man, when he first came in. He'd be like, all right, I'll shoot you to the ropes. And I'd be like, oh my God, like the 5th row's here in this. But, yeah, but he didn't really care. He didn't care, but he used to call them spots out pretty loud.
Biggest ladies man.
Biggest ladies man. I'd have to say Carlito.
You are the 3rd person to say Carlito. He must just have some rep, I'm telling you.
That means I'm telling the truth here, mate.
Yeah, definitely. Funniest thing you ever saw.
My boy Carlito, boy, he's a ladies' man, that's for sure.
And I spoke to Carlito and he was like, not me. It was like, man, the modesty of the guy, I tell you.
The modesty is great too. That's what I love about it too.